Welcome back to Tuesday, where we look at two different vendors in Tamriel. First, we're going to check out the Scholarium vendor, which is where we are now, and then we're going to go to Infinite Archive and see what Filer Ul has for us. First up, we have our Bound Affix Script Evasion. Adds evasion, a buff reducing damage from area effects. Bound Focus Script Shock Damage. Adds shock damage. Bound Signature Script Assassin's Misery. Adds improved use of status effects. That's it. Let's check out Infinite Archive. All right, now we're in Infinite Archive. Let's see what Filer Ul has for us today.
I would sell you a map of the...
First up is Rivenspire Treasure Map. Now, first of all, these are going to be dirt cheap on Guild Traders. I don't recommend spending 2,000 archival fortunes for it. But if you were curious, Rivenspire brings us Darkstride, Necropotence, and Vampire Cloak. Our scripts this week: Bound Affix Script Force. Adds Force, a buff increasing critical damage. Bound Affix Script Heroism. Adds Heroism, a buff increasing ultimate generation. Bound Focus Script Mitigation. Adds damage reduction. And Bound Signature Script Cavalier's Charge. Adds an increase to damage as ability persists effect. All right, our style page this week is the Pirate Skeleton Shoulder. This one will drop from the Undaunted Quest Giver whenever the mask is dropping in Blackheart Haven. I don't think these are worth 15,000 archival fortunes. I like just getting my shoulders with keys, but if you have a key shortage, this is an option. All right, companion equipment weapons. Again, I don't recommend these. They are bound. You are at the mercy of RNG for what trait you get. Weapons are fairly easy to get in game in general, and 5,000 archival fortunes is pretty steep when you also have RNG to contend with. All right, next up we have the Dwarven Theodolite Torso, which is part of the Dwarven Theodolite pet. It's one of 7 pieces that drop out of that Dwemer public dungeon in Vardenfell, Nutchelefting. I think 7,000 archival fortunes is pretty steep, but if it's the last piece you're missing, maybe it's worth it to you. All right, we keep seeing some of these new pieces that give us these skill styles, and I'm kind of excited about that. This one is Fragment of Hersine. It drops from Pack Leader Sigmund in Hersine's Haunt, which is in Craglorn. Not someplace I go and kill bosses all that often. 1,000 archival fortunes doesn't sound all that bad, although I have a feeling it drops pretty easily. So totally up to you. All right, time for our leads. First up, we have the Dwarven Leather Saddle Seat. This is part of the Ebon Dwarven Wolf. It's one of 17 fragments. The Dwarven Wolf has been out since Antiquities started. But if you're missing this one, it does drop off the last boss in Valenfell, the group dungeon. It's notoriously difficult to get. So if this is the one you're missing, I do think 5,000 archival fortunes is worth it if you've been struggling, or if you just don't do dungeons. All right, Intricate Winding Shaft. This is from the Music Box Glyphic Secrets from Telvanni Peninsula. This particular lead drops from anywhere in Telvanni Peninsula. Since it drops from any source, I think it's probably pretty easy to get. So I would probably skip this one, although I love my music boxes. Our books, Materials for Novice Necromancers. It's an attractive book. Looks a little bit different than some of the other ones. This one, the Eidetic Memory, is in Infinite Archive, and you find it in Infinite Archive. Next up is Planner Exploration Volume 14, Dark Reeve Curators. We've seen books like this quite a bit with other titles. This one drops out of Infinite Archive, but in this case, the Eidetic Memory is in Apocrypha. And last up is our Unreliable Archive Map. Consume 20 Unreliable Archive Maps to unlock the Peer into the Mirror Maze achievement and the Shattered Mirror Maze face marks. Here's your Shattered Mirror Maze face marks. These are going to automatically drop as you do your dailies in Infinite Archive. I think that 7,000 archival fortunes is really steep when you need 20 of them, so I do recommend skipping this and just doing your dailies. All right, let's run a couple arcs of Infinite Archive and see what overland gear is dropping that we can collect this week. Okay, we have just run 2 arcs of Infinite Archive, And it looks like we have gear dropping from Eastmarch. That includes Akavari Dragon Guard, Fjord's Legacy, and Stendar's Embrace. And then also from Gold Coast. That includes Flanking Strategist, Hide of Morehouse, and Sithis' Touch. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.